Hey, this is Soldier 7 here reporting for Right Wing Federation. As you see, I got another chance to do a video like this. And I know I keep saying that every time I do a video like this, but as I said, no guarantees on when I'll ever do one like this again. But either way, I guess I ought to just stop doing that. But anyway, I want to get on a specific topic today, and I know I say that a lot too. But nevertheless, this specific topic is a specific word. It is a word that, as of time, has gotten to a point to where when I hear it, it just irritates me. Mainly why is because on how it gets used, like how the word gets used. So yeah, I've actually been wanting to do a video like this for quite a while, and actually a long time. I can't say how long, but yeah, it's gotten to a point to where I kind of want to just like try to do a video like this, just try to get it off my chest. I mean, certain things that have happened recently that I guess kind of drive me to want to get to do it now. But yeah, that's what I want to do today. Sorry if I start ranting or rambling or mumbling or whatever, or pause for too long. I'm sorry if I do that, but I just kind of want to get this video done with because I just want to get it over with. And like I said, I wanted to get on talk about a specific word today, and that word is neocon. Now, the thing is the reason why I want to talk about this word neocon is because I guess the topic of this video is, has neocon just become a label or an insult, you know, towards like conservatives who, like, let's say don't agree with other conservatives? And I know I'm probably going to catch some flack for this video. I don't know. Depends on who sees it. Depends on if anyone sees it. I don't know. But anyway. But yeah, it seems like nowadays neocon intends to be a word that I hear from both sides of the aisle, the right, I mean, yeah, the right and the left, but mostly from the right. I mostly hear it from the right, mostly from the paleocons and the libertarians and the anarchists, the anarcho-capitalists or whatever. And the thing is that it seems like neocon nowadays intends to be a word to describe like a conservative who's like pro-war or supports military action or military intervening in some place. And I just like can't seem to understand that, because like how does being pro-war or any of that stuff make you a neocon? And keep in mind, I'm not somebody who's pro-war. I wouldn't say I'm somebody who's anti-war. I mean, like, there's the whole non-interventionist, non-aggression principle, then there's the whole interventionist and so forth. I describe myself as none of that. I mean, I don't know how you could describe me. Maybe as a floating in the middle guy, 50-50. I mean, I guess really it just, for me, it just all depends on what's the occasion and what's the situation. Okay? So I just want to clear that up. I'm not pro-war, but then again, I'm not really anti-war either. Like I said, it just all depends on what's the situation and so forth. Okay. So yeah, what's the occasion? What's the situation? And I'll make up my mind from there. But anyway, yeah. Has it now just become a word to just describe like a conservative? I mean, not that I've heard conservatives get called neocons, but even like people on the left get called neocons too, whatever. And it's usually mostly done by so-called paleocons, aka paleoconservatives and libertarians, and yeah, even some anarcho-capitalists. Why, I don't know. I mean, and the reason why I guess I'm starting to talk about this now, because as you know, recently John Bolton has been relieved. He resigned, or some say Trump fired him. I don't know. Doesn't matter. And I'm no fan of John Bolton. I mean, other than maybe a few good ideas, yeah. I mean, like I was not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I think a lot of people aren't really a fan of him to begin with. But anyway, that's not the point. I mean, yeah, it's probably good he's no longer in the White House as of now. I mean, he has been before, but as of now, it's probably a good idea because, like I said, I'm not a fan. But the thing is when this happened, when he either resigned or got fired or whatever, I don't know what happened. Doesn't matter. My point is like I was hearing like a lot of these, like some of these, mainly paleocons and libertarians calling him a neocon and talking about his hawkish, approach to everything, and which granted, yeah, he's got a. It seems like he tends to have a hawkish attitude and all that for us, but the question is how does that make somebody a neocon? Like the thing is like, I mean, like I don't want to go on about John Bolton all day, but at the same time, a part of me is wondering is, yes, I think we're all familiar with his hawkish attitude towards the world and towards, politics and so forth. I know that, but the thing is, I mean, what else does he believe in besides that? I mean, what's his take on, and I'm going to get to this in a minute, what's his take on taxes? What's his take on gun control? What's his take on immigration? What's his take on abortion? What's his take on any of that stuff? Because, and I'm going to get to this in a minute, and I just want to clear the facts that this is, even though this is right-wing federation, and yes, I'm a right-leaning person, and I usually describe myself as a center-right person. I describe myself as all kind of things, but it's usually right-leaning. As I'm sure you know, I don't know why I had to say that, but yeah, I would say, yeah, I'm a conservative, but the thing is, I don't describe myself as a neocon or neoconservative. I don't consider myself that. I don't consider myself a paleocon or a paleoconservative. I don't play that game. I don't consider myself either one. Because one day I may agree with one side and another day I may agree with the other. I don't know. I don't really know what kind of conservative I would say, but if I had to say right now, I would say more of an Edmund Burke style conservative, which I'm sure some of you know that by now. But anyway, back to my point. When people were like saying, "Oh, he's his hawkish neocon behavior, policy, or whatever," I'm just kind of like, so let me get this straight. A neocon is somebody who's pro-war now? Because for me, growing up, that was not my definition of a neocon. Because the so-called neocons, as far as I'm concerned, for me, a neocon is what you would call a... Well, I mean, I know there's going to be some people who may see this and leave a comment on what a neocon really is, but For me, a neocon has always been like a rhino Republican or a progressive conservative. I mean, like a conservative who's intend to be a conservative who intends to have a lot of progressive policies, you know, or as what they call in the UK, a red Tory. I don't know if that's what everybody in the UK calls them. I don't know if that refers to like a conservative in the UK who's very sympathetic to the Labour Party or the other way around. I don't know. If you're in the UK or if you know anything about that, please do tell. But shouldn't that be what a neoconservative is? Not like somebody who's pro-war? Because just bear with me. I'm not claiming, as I just said, I'm not someone who's pro-war. I'm not someone who's anti-war. Like I said, I guess you can say I'm a floating in the middle guy or I'm a 50-50. It all depends on what's the occasion and what's the situation, okay? So my point is like, what if like you were for like every paleocon, I mean, like, let's say you were like for like every paleocon policy whatsoever, or you were a libertarian, you were for like every libertarian policy, like, yeah, the legalization of marijuana or whatever, support for, I don't know, whatever. Not that you have to be a libertarian to be that stuff. You can be a conservative and support some of that stuff. You know, but I won't go too deep into that. Hopefully, for any of those who are watching, know what I mean. Hopefully, you know what I'm talking about. But the point is, let's say you're all for that, but then one day you decide, you know what? Like, let's say something bad happens and I don't know, an attack happens or so forth or something like that, and you say, I think we need to react. We need to react with a military response or something like that. And all of a sudden, like, you're a neocon. That makes you a neocon. I don't get it. Like, you can be for all the paleocon principles, or the libertarian principles, or the anarcho-capitalist principles, or so forth. You could be like all of that, but as soon as you say that, you're automatically just considered a neocon, and I don't get it. I mean, like, yeah, the Bushes, to me, were neocons, not because of the wars, but because of some of their policies, like the bank bailouts and so forth, that in 2008 or 2009, like when Bush, for example, when Bush Sr. raised taxes, even when he said, read my lips, no new taxes, taxes were raised. And when the banks, you know, and Wall Street failed, we bailed them out, and Bush even said, talking about abandoning free market principles and so forth. So a neocon in that way is something, to me, that's what a neocon is on those lines. I mean, to some people I'm a neocon, to some people I'm a paleocon, even though I don't consider myself either. Because usually it's the paleocons who probably think I'm a neocon, and it's probably the neocons who think I'm a paleocon. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna go back to like, cause I've already just keep saying, I'm sorry if I'm ranting at this point. I'm sorry if I sound a little off, but I just want to get to the point, and I'm not trying to make this video long, but I just want to get off my chest, and I'm trying not to make it too long. But the point I'm just trying to make is like, I think before you call somebody a neocon, like just for saying, you know what, I do support the war, I do support sending troops over here and so forth or whatever, why don't you try finding out why? Now I know I've had different definition of neocons talked about. Like, some people say that's really what a neocon is, or at least a lot of people tend to think that's what a neocon is, especially a lot of the paleocons and libertarians. And then you have the, well, I don't know what I was going to say there, but you have people on the left who will use the same thing as well. I guess that's what I was going to say, but anyway, and then there's the talk about they want to like spread that throughout the world and nation build. Well, okay, but what if someone says that, but they're not for that? Like, they just say, well, no, I think this is a problem. These people are a threat. We should send troops, but I'm not for nation building. Like what about that? How does that make you a neocon? Like, if that's what a neocon is, like go in and nation build and all that stuff, like, then I can name plenty of people who are not pro-war that could be seen as neocons. I mean, you can say Richard Nixon was a neocon. I mean, he pulled the United States out of Vietnam, and I know there are those who are going to say, yeah, but he invaded Cambodia and this and that before he pulled out. Okay. But still, he got us out. He said he was going to get us out of Vietnam, and he did. But put that aside. I mean, whether if he got us out the second he got into office or not, even though he didn't, but at the same time, you could still consider him a neocon or a neoconservative, mainly because, in my personal opinion, because I think he said it himself that he was a Keynesian. Like, you know, Keynesian economics. I don't know. If you're a conservative and you're a believer in Keynesian economics, I mean, to me, that can be defined as a neocon. So, like, I don't know. So, like, yeah, like I was saying in the beginning, like, is neocon now just becoming a word now? Like, just to label or insult someone? Like, if two conservatives who may not agree on something, they just, like, one of them just goes, oh, really? Well, you're just a neocon. Like, I just think that's ridiculous. Like, well, I mean, like I said, I know there's going to be people saying, well, this is really what a neocon was, or this is how a neocon started. I know, I've looked at all of it. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I don't want to make this video too long. I mean, this video has been longer than I intended to make it, but like I said, I was just going to speak my mind for a little bit. Try not to rant too long, which I guess that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I do feel like that, you know, that is now the definition of a neocon, and it really kind of irritates me. Because, like, as far as I can tell, like I said, you can still, like, you could be a non-interventionist and still be a neocon in my perspective. If you're a conservative who advocates for, like Keynesian economics, you know, like I just said with Nixon and so forth, something on those lines, because I always thought, like, conservatives were more, and libertarians, I mean, yeah, there are differences, but I figured, you know, they would prefer to embrace more of the American, Chicago, and Austrian School of Economics, something on those lines. So, yeah, that's kind of, like, I'm just saying, to me, that I just don't really think that just because someone claims to be pro-war, like, they could be, like, pro-paleo, they could be, like, paleo on everything else, just except for that particular topic. I understand a lot of paleo conservatives and libertarians and Clinton intend to be non-interventionists and advocate for non-aggression principle internationally or so forth. And okay, but, like, the thing is like, the second if someone doesn't 100% agree with that, I just don't see how that makes them a neocon or a neoconservative, whatever. But anyway, I don't know. This is almost 20 minutes long. I'm sorry. I don't want to rant for too long, but yeah, that's all I'm just gonna say. I don't know. That's all I'm just gonna say for right now. This is Soldier 7. Thanks for listening.